Now, if you never had an opposing belief to your own desire, then you, in your human personality, would be a perfect vibrational match to your desire. There would be one point of attraction and one point of attraction only. Your desire would feel wonderful to you right from the beginning of it, and you would be on a steady course of unfolding about it. In other words, you would be in the receiving mode, and never-ending things would be presented to you to let you know about the becoming of your desire. But because you came into this physical body with great intent, and because there are those things that you don't want and those things that you do want, and because it is a deciphering process for you to come to your clarity about what you prefer, then there is the not just possibility, not just probability, but the certainty that you're going to have some of what you want and some of what you don't want active in your vibration. And your work as a deliberate creator is that once you figure it out, to then give more of your attention. In fact, it would be nice if it could be your undivided attention toward what you do want instead of to what you don't want. When life shows you that you want more freedom and not bondage, you must focus upon the aspects of freedom in order to be a match to it. If life shows you that in that quest for freedom that you desire more prosperity, then you must be a match to the prosperity rather than a match to the not having enough. Every particle of the universe contains that which is wanted and absence of it. That's just the way that it works. So if you have a desire for something and you're contradicting it by your awareness of what is, by your awareness of what has not come about yet, then you slow the process way, way down. And this is the part that we really want you to hear. We haven't talked about this with this clarity and these words before, because your desire is being answered by law of attraction. Over here where your desire lives, we've been calling this your vibrational reality. We even gave it the name the Vortex, so that you would come to accept it as a real part of who you are that is in a constant state of evolution. So when your life in your physical form causes you to expand, and that's really one of the primary joyous reasons of being here in this physical body, as you expand into this more, then you've got to find a way of keeping up with it. And if you don't, you feel the split energy. So today we'll be talking quite a bit about that split energy, about how to manage your own vibration. Vibration, vibration, vibration. It must seem annoying to you to hear the word vibration, vibration, vibration over and over and over and over and over and over again. Esther was sitting at the airport in San Diego the other day. She'd moved over there and she'd moved over there. She got there an hour before boarding, so she had quite a bit of roaming around time. And so she sat over here for a while, and then she got the impulse to sit over there for a while, and then she got the impulse to sit over there for a while, and then she got the impulse to sit over there for a while. And so she sat down, and almost as soon as she sat down, there was a man sitting next to her who had his cell phone up to his ear, no earplugs, but just quietly listening to something coming out of the end of his phone. And Esther heard the word vibration, and she thought, oh, I know that word. And then she recognized Abraham's voice. And so she tapped him on the shoulder. She tapped him on the shoulder and she said, and he said, my daughter has been wanting me to listen to this, and so I'm just now doing this. And he said, and now I'm a believer. And Esther said, don't get carried away, listen some more. It was a wonderful vibrational law of attraction moment for both of them, really. Vibration, 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 vibration. So you are so good at translating vibration, you don't know you're doing it. You see and hear and smell and taste and touch because you're deciphering or translating vibration. But when you feel emotion, that's your keenest, most subtle translation of vibration. And the reason that you have emotions is because there are two of you. And that's the thing that we really want you to understand. There are two parts of you. The non-physical in the vortex, pure positive energy, source energy part of you, who has expanded with your even most recent amendment to your desires. And then we love you so much. there's you. There's you taking life as it comes to you. But often when life shows you that you want something, we love you so much, often you spend more time explaining to yourself and others why you need this improvement in your life, which holds you in vibrational alignment with its absence. As you justify or rationalize or defend, as you explain why you really, really need something that you do not have, you're practicing the vibration of its absence, not the vibration of its presence. And that's why sometimes your desires don't feel good to you in the way that we want them to. So we're just going to explain something to you briefly, and then off we'll go talking about whatever it is you want to talk about. So you came from source energy into this physical body, and you've been exploring and asking with vibration, sometimes with your words, but not always with your words. In fact, not even most often with your words, about improvements, because you and everyone is selfishly oriented. And by that we mean you can really only perceive through the perspective of yourself. So as you advocate for yourself by preferring this and this and this, that's what we're calling step one. The contrast causes you to ask, and you're launching these rockets of desire. And step two is that the source energy part of you and all those who are gathered there receive what you're asking for, focus upon it, and become a vibrational advocate for that, which means hold the vibrational focus upon it. And law of attraction is responding then to that which you are asking for. So in this vibrational reality, your desires are becoming. In fact, they have become so significantly that we can tell you unequivocally that you have enough in your vortex to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes in terms of manifestations unfolding. It's a wonderful thing that you've got going on here. But you've got to do the step three part. You're over here in your physical form, using your physical senses to observe your physical environment. And often you're noticing the absence of something that you want. And in doing so, you're keeping yourself apart from who you really are. And that does not feel good. And that's what negative emotion is. So we like to say it's a little bit like you've got a desire, so you put a big engine on the desire end of your track. You're a train on a track, level field. Put a desire over there, and that desire starts moving toward, the engine starts moving. Your whole train starts moving toward your desire. But then you realize that you don't have it yet, so you plunk another engine down going in the opposite direction. And then you want it more, so you put another engine going that way, and then you take score of where you are again, and you put another engine going that way. And without even realizing it, you're asking and doubting and asking and doubting and asking and not believing and asking and not believing and asking and not believing and asking of source, and then talking to your friends about where you are. And in your taking score, you keep contradicting your own desires. And that's what that tension is within you that we are describing as negative emotion. So negative emotion is your indicator. It's not a bad thing. It's an indicator. It's like the gas gauge on your vehicle. You don't put a happy face sticker over it because you don't want to face the fact that your tank is empty. And we don't want you to put a smile on your face and pretend that you're happy when you're not. We don't want you to pretend that you feel good when you don't, because the universe is not responding to your hypocrisy. The universe is responding to your real vibration, which is evidenced by your real feeling. So when you behave yourself, that doesn't count. When you perform the way others expect you to perform, even though you don't feel good in your solar plexus, it does not improve your point of attraction. You really got to get happy. You really got to find a way. You must find a way to be a vibrational match to what you're wanting. So we'll talk a lot today about how you bring that about, how you are aware of your balance of energies and what to do about them. The most significant thing that we want you to hear from us. You've been listening to us for a while? Well, then we're going to tell you something that you have not heard us emphasize much. Just recently, we're really giving this to you in a strong, strong way. When you are wanting something different than you have, the usual reason that it doesn't unfold quickly for you is because of your incessant attention upon what is. And we understand why what is so interesting, because you can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it. And we understand why the vortex version that is in the state of becoming might seem less interesting to you, because it has not yet turned into things. It's in vibrational form, it's in the state of becoming, but it hasn't come out where you can see it yet. And you're addicted to what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, so much so that you would rather think about and talk about what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, rather than only about what you can feel, even though everything that you want is over here in this vibrational reality in the process of becoming. So for a while we were explaining to you about this vibrational reality. We called it a vortex. We wrote a whole book about it, 2 of them in fact, to help you to accept that it is a real state of existence. And then you began saying things to us like, Abraham, we'll play your silly game and we'll accept that there's something over there that we can't see. We'll try to believe you. We'll try to have faith about it. But really, Abraham, just tell me, how do I get my money out of the vortex and into the bank? How does this vibration become a reality for me, where I can experience it and where others can see it too? And so then we began saying, what you're talking about is your whole reason for being out here on this leading edge. Of course you prefer to see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it, because that's the manifested form in its fullness. That's what you came for. You are powerful and deliberate creators, and you want the full manifestation of things. That's natural to you. But you cannot ever get to the full manifestation of your desire if you are focused upon what is. And you cannot work it out here in the physical manifestation. So watch these visuals that we are presenting. Here is the vortex, and here is where your inner being stands. And here is the vibration that is pure, and here is where everything that you want is. But it's in vibrational form, and you must be the receiver. You must be the allower. You are the one who will perceive it. You are the one who will interpret it. You've got to get in the receiving mode. Step 1 is you ask. Step 2 is source answer. Step 3 is you must get into the allowing or receiving mode, which means you have to be in a vibrational frequency where the thoughts and impulses occur to you. Esther is in the airport getting an impulse to move over there, and then an impulse to move over there, and then an impulse to move over there, and then an impulse to move over there, and met a very nice man. He said, my daughter's just not going to believe this. And Esther said, then you better take a picture. And then she said, put it up higher, we'll look better. And then he said, I think I'll call her. So he called her, and she didn't answer, so he left a message, and Esther said, I think you should call her again, and I'll leave a message. So what fun they're having. But what we're getting at is following the impulse always leads you to something that's more fun and more fun and more fun and more fun, provided that that is coming from your source energy point of view. So when you're mad at someone and you get the impulse to call them up and tell them off, that impulse is not coming from source. So what we're demonstrating with this hand waving is that here is your vortex, and here is where the pure energy is, and this is where the impulses that will lead you. You see, your inner being knows where you stand in proximity to everything you want, and knows the path of least resistance to help you to get there. For Esther, it was sit over there, 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 sit over there. In other words, she moved around a lot. She said to him, are you going to San Antonio? That's where I'm going. And he said, no, I'm going someplace else. Esther said, well, why are you sitting at this gate? And he said, I don't know. His gate was over there. He was sitting at a different gate because his impulse led him there too. You see what we're getting at? There are all kinds of things that are leading you to all kinds of things, but you got to be in the receptive mode in order to get that pure signal. So we'll talk about how to go about that. We're eager to talk with you about whatever is important to you. There's nothing that is off limits. You will notice a really wonderful unfolding. And as we said, we know where you are in relationship to what you want. And there are plenty of conversations that are going to happen here today that will assist you in getting there. So, what do you want to talk about? A lot of trouble in this room.